That little baby latched onto me, wrapped his feet around me, his arms around my neck. Story time. So last weekend, I went to Aquatica by myself. My husband was out of town and I had nothing else to do, and I have a pass to Aquatica. So I went by myself. And while I was there was a dad who had two little kids with him. They were young, they were little. And I am in the fast, lazy river. And it's pretty good speed and takes some strength to do well in this lazy river. And he's got two little babies with him. Both of them, thank God, had life jackets on. But they were both on their backs and they were both kind of flailing. And he was not noticing, I guess, their distress. And I couldn't just pass it up. I had to kind of float towards them, and I just scooped one of the babies up, who was about 3 years old, and I just scooped him up in my arms. And I asked the dad, do you mind if I hold him? He's like, no, go for it. That little baby latched onto me, wrapped his feet around me, his arms around my neck, and he could not hold on any tighter, which kind of broke my heart. But at the same time, I was glad I was there. And so I just tried to give him as much security as I could and held him as tight as I could, just to let him know that he's okay, he's safe. And then the littlest one was doing the same thing. And you know, when a baby is kind of reaching up and flailing around, you can tell that they're looking for comfort and security. So I scooped him up. So I had one baby on one side, the other one on the other side. The first baby is about 3 years old. The second baby is under a year. And I scooped him up too and held on to both of them and just floated with them and tried to keep their face out of the jets, tried to keep them upright and not just aimlessly floating down a river that they didn't know what to expect. It's scary. It's hard for adults to go through this river, let alone these two little babies. So I just held on to them and just floated with them and tried to stabilize them the best I could. And a couple times I'd look around for the dad and he was gone. Yeah, I couldn't see him. I looked in front of me and behind me. He's nowhere to be found. So he was just needing a break and needed to play and dive and not have that responsibility on his shoulders. So after going around the river probably a good 5 or 6 times, I let him know that the babies needed to get out. They were shivering, their little lips were quivering, they were tired. And I told him, I said, you know, this is a hard place for adults to be, let alone little kids. This is too fast for their little bodies to handle. And I suggested we get them out of the water. So we got to an exit, got them up out of the water, took off their life jackets, and asked him, where's mom? Where's grandma? And the dad said, they're with the twins. Oh my God. I felt so bad for these kids. I felt so bad for this dad. They were all just so in over their heads. So once they got out and took off, I spent the next couple of trips around the river praying, praying for them that they would be okay, that he would see, that the dad would see how much they needed him and how much he was just needing a little help. And he was very kind and not upset that I was trying to kind of take over and help him. So it ended great. The kids were fine. They weren't in any danger as far as drowning. They both had good life jackets on. They were just scared. So I'm telling you this story to kind of bring it back around to, you know, we go through life and we can be thinking we're okay, but we're kind of flailing around and we're scared and we're not sure what's happening. And I just wanted to let you know that if you are like me and you're over 60 and you want to get back into doing something new and something that brings you joy, that I'm right here. I'm right here with you. I'm doing exactly the same thing, and I am glad you're here. And I really want you to come float with me.